We're here as the cars are getting ready to go out for the final time this year in the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 SuperCup. And because it's the final race of the weekend, it's a reverse grid. Simon Baldwin is on pole position. Now don't forget, he took fastest lap in the first race, so he's going to be one to watch. Championship leader Luke Herbert is further back on the grid. See how he comes through, because he's going to want to end the season on a high. It's over to Andy to take you through the final race action.
Well, the final race of what's been a dramatic 2019 campaign. Here's how they line up then in full. It's Simon Baldwin on pole position with Nick Rutter alongside them, Patrick Fletcher and James Cousins. Aidan Hills and Luke Herbert share the third row, with Will Stevenson and George Grant on row 4. There is no Jack Harding though. With the championship now gone, he has decided not to race in the final race of the season, but he's still here, I believe, cheering on the AK Automotive squad, and Gary Townsend in particular, who you can see lines up 9th on the grid. So no Jack Harding. That means that pending any post-race penalties, the championship now belongs to Luke Herbert. We can just go racing now with no more positions within the top 5 in the championship still up for grabs. One last race then, 20 minutes of action ahead of us, and away goes Luke Herbert from the third row of the grid with a brilliant start around the outside of James Cousins, but it's Simon Baldwin that holds onto the lead. Down to the first corner, Aidan Hills comes up the inside as well. They're 3 abreast for second place. That won't work, and Luke Herbert had to back out of that, otherwise there was always guaranteed to be contact. It's Baldwin that leads the way then, Fletcher's second, Cousins third, one car out wide further back, but gets back on again. That was possibly Liz Walton, I think, but at the front of the field, look how congested it is as Aidan Hills comes through into third position now, ahead of James Cousins. Brilliant start this from Aidan Hills, who's been pretty good in these reverse grid races over the last year or so. Going through the old hairpin for the first time. Everyone through cleanly. There's number 50 car of Peter Weaver from towards the back of the field, but Aidan Hills is wasting no time at all here. Gets right on it, round the outside of Fletcher into second place, and he might have even got the lead away there from Simon Baldwin. He has! Aidan Hills goes round the outside of 2 cars at McLean's. It's also starting to rain now. You can see it's a little bit greasy out there. The track was dry when the race got underway, but there's a few spots of rain starting to fall now, and that's going to add extra spice into the mix now ahead of this final race of the season, which is already nearing the completion of its opening lap. Down the exhibition straight they go. Hills leads the way, Baldwin second, 3 abreast though as they go down to the chicane. Fletcher having a look up the inside, has a big lock-up, but gets away with it, hangs on to third, and then it will be Luke Herbert behind with James Cousins. That's George Grant all over the curves, nearly gives that foam barrier on the apex of the chicane a headbutt. Then Declan Lee, the number 11 car, right behind him. Windscreen wipers on for half the field. It's not really raining at this part of the track. It's at the far end of the circuit where it's getting damp and greasy, and every time they get there now, it will be a bit of a voyage into the unknown as this, what looks like being a fairly heavy rain shower, starts to pass through. Through they go then, through the Craner curves for the second time. On board with Luke Herbert, you can see here not too much water on the windscreen as they come down the Craners, which is good, because remember there was a part of the circuit you don't want to suddenly get wet. It's this part of the circuit. As they come out of the old hairpin, they're heading into the area from which the rain is coming. Oh, Simon Baldwin with a bit of a mistake there. Patrick Fletcher pulls to the right-hand side, tries to go through. There's almost contact there. Fletcher's on the grass. Oh, can he save it? He's sideways. Luke Herbert goes through into third place, but Patrick Fletcher exits stage right and will cut right across the grass to try and continue. James Cousins is off now as well. Oh, it's really raining cats and dogs at the far end of the circuit, and James Cousins has gone off through the gravel trap. Into Coppice they go. It's even wetter here. A bit wide there. Oh, Aidan Hills is off. The race leader off into the gravel trap. Aidan Hills, they're all off. Gary Townsend's off. Cars off everywhere as the rain suddenly arrives in one big hit. It's absolute carnage up at Coppice Corner. Cars pointing the wrong way. David Henderson has spun. George Grant's been off the road. Miraculously though, I think they've all continued. Oh, there's one car still digging its way out. That's Declan Lee. But that was utter drama. I've no idea what order they've got themselves into now. There's Patrick Fletcher, he's been off as we saw. James Cousins has rejoined, actually not far behind him, after they both went off within a couple of 100 metres of each other. But that was, well, but who's leading? That's the question. It's Baldwin. Simon Baldwin's leading the way with Luke Herbert in second position. Simon Baldwin got his first ever MX-5 SuperCup podium in the first race of the weekend yesterday. And now here he is, just over 24 hours later, leading the race with Luke Herbert, the 3-time champion-elect, now we can call him, right on his tail. This is not going to be an easy lead to hang on to. Now back into the old hairpin. It's still not raining at this part of the circuit. It's just very localised up at McLean's and Coppice in particular. They'll be expecting it this time, I suppose, a little bit more than they were a lap ago, but it could still catch them out. Up the hill they go. Luke Herbert still attacking though for the race lead. Look at the scenes of destruction that they've left behind them after the chaos on the previous lap. We've got polystyrene boards that have been demolished. We've got gravel and mud all over the road, and these top two picking their way through cleanly on this occasion, thankfully, but a bit wide there for Simon Baldwin. Baldwin, and Luke Herbert sees the chance to get up the inside line, muscles his way alongside completely now as they go down the exhibition straight, and that will give him the inside line for the chicane, and Luke Herbert is looking now for a hat-trick of race victories here at Donington Park to sign off the 2019 campaign in style. And well, he goes through into the race lead. He's not won the race yet, but he has at least got himself to the front of the pack. Simon Baldwin, though, fair play to him, fighting straight back again on the exit of the corner. Aiden Hills, you can see, is third, with Gary Townsend fourth. It's a very jumbled aboard after all of the shenanigans a lap ago. But it is going to be Herbert with the inside line, defending the lead into Redgate corner. He gets through the corner just about in front. He comes off the corner even more just about in front, but Simon Baldwin's not going to let him have this all his own way here. Herbert can hang on. He'll become the first person to reach 10 victories this year. And the only person, therefore, as this is, of course, the last race of the season. That would be a career win number 22, would you believe? But, Jack Harding out of the race now. Looks as though Luke Herbert is going to secure his position now at the top of the all-time wins tally. There were one win apiece coming into this race. 21 career wins for Luke, 20 for Jack. They are the two highest now by quite some way, actually, in the overall wins tally. The championship that began, remember, back in 2013, and those two in recent seasons have won almost all of the races, really. Alan Henderson is still third in the all-time wins categories with 15 victories to his name, former champion as well, who's here this weekend, of course. He is the APO Automotive squad, Jack Harding and Gary Townsend once again. Not Jack Harding in this race, of course, because he is stood at the sidelines, possibly now wishing that he was out there, because this could have been a perfect opportunity for him to, even if he can't win the championship, still go and get another race victory and tie Luke Herbert in the wins category. But it's Herbert getting away now slightly as they come across the start-finish line, with Simon Baldwin trying to go with him in second position. Aiden Hill's trying to catch them in third. There's James Cousins trying to fight back as well, looking around the outside of Nick Rutter, which he succeeds in doing into Redgate corner. Will Stevenson is now his next rival to overhaul if possible. Down the hill go the leading two. Baldwin, part of this is down to the slipstream, no doubt, but he is driving really well this weekend. He's like a new man, is Simon. It's rare that he doesn't sit on the grid alongside his stepbrother James, but James electing not to race this weekend, having dipped his toe in the SuperCup waters a few times earlier on this year with, by his standards, relatively little success. And now watching on as Simon does the business out there. He's closing back in on Luke Herbert actually on this particular lap. Head down the back straight, but the man that's looming ever larger in their mirrors is Aiden Hills. He looks like he's the quicker of the three at this stage, and in changeable conditions, the man who we know has fantastic car control skills, Aiden Hills, is starting to come into his own now. The rain, though, has gone away a little bit now. It's a little more consistent around the circuit, but it's consistently less heavy than it was a few minutes ago. So the conditions getting more consistent now, more manageable. Might possibly level the playing field back out again. But touch sideways there out of Redgate corner. It's back down the hill once more. And, just cannot shake off Simon Baldwin here. Simon can really start applying the pressure. We get into that old scenario where the leader has to start defending. That means they stop pulling away from the cars behind. At least in this case, there is only really Aiden Hills that seems to be on the same sort of pace as these two now. James Cousins having been dropped into the field after his off here earlier on when it started raining. Jack Harding not in the race at all. It looks like being maybe a three-way fight for the victory. Right now it's just two of them together. Luke Herbert not able to escape from Simon Baldwin. There's Aiden Hills watching on in the background. Heavier the rain up at Coppice this time. More water on the camera lens. Turn through the right-hander back along the exhibition straight. Luke Herbert to try and take the victory if he can here, take the hat-trick. It's not been done all that often, but Luke's done it more times than any other driver in the championship, and looking to try and do the same again here at Donington. Out across the start-finish line they go. Simon Baldwin in his wheel tracks though. He's a bit closer this time, going towards Redgate corner. Might choose to have a go maybe on the brakes. Does he pop out of line? No, stays resolutely on the racing line there as they turn through the right-hander. Hills third, Fletcher fourth, so it's as though unless anything kicks off in front of him, that podium's still going to elude him. Gary Townsend fifth, and Cousins now into sixth, so he is now ahead of Will Stevenson. See there, the yellow and white number 62 car. That car started off all yellow at the start of the year, and I think as they've had to replace various body panels all season, they've decided to turn it into a slightly different livery now on the car through the final round of the season. Claims goes the lead battle. Aiden Hill's pace is sort of stagnated now. He's not really taking huge chunks of time out of them anymore. Inching towards them, gets them to start delaying each other a little more, really, if he's going to catch them properly. Oh, Will Stevenson fights back against James Cousins and reclaims that 6th position now. Cousins just about gets back in line in front of Nick Rutter, but that was not really in the plan. Gets a good exit though, dives back up the inside of Will Stevenson and will try to get back ahead again on the run into the chicane at the end of the lap. To Redgate again then, it is Herbert leading. Now this time Aiden Hills does look like he's caught them, I'd say. Across the line they go. Oh, car off, that's Nick Rutter. Nick Rutter's gone off down the chicane. James Cousins was avoiding action through the gravel trap, I think. Now, did they make contact? They were battling, weren't they, with Will Stevenson as well. Oh, and Rutter, oh no. Well, he'd had the spin and then was trying to recover and drove straight into the gravel trap, and the Rob Boston racing car is now going absolutely nowhere. Is stuck in what I would deem to be a dangerous position, so that might require a safety car. That would change things, wouldn't it? Because Aiden Hills would then have all of this hard work done for him. He'd be able to latch straight onto the tail of the leading two. And then we'd have a real race on our hands. But Nick Rutter letting his copybook a little bit there with that mistake, not just the spin, but the slightly iffy recovery effort. Fletcher and Kerry Townsend, they're both running wide, using plenty of track limits through McLean's. Then Stevenson still ahead of Cousins. Rutter trudges away from his car, rather frustrated with himself. You can see he's got it wrong a long way before the corner, hasn't he? Or it's gone wrong, let's say. We don't know whether that was his mistake or whether he was assisted off the road. He was the 3rd car in that line, though, so it's hard to imagine how he was on the receiving end of contact, but things may have changed since we last saw them, of course. The leaders go through now. There were yellow flags out of the chicane there, and I reckon that Herbert and Baldwin maybe just slowed down a little bit more than they had to, and Aiden Hills has all of a sudden got within slipstreaming range, I think. So regardless of whether we get a safety car or not now, Aiden, I think, is going to be a factor in this race. They go on to another lap now into the second half of our final race of the 2019 season, and sideways for Simon Baldwin. He's been spurred on now by the fact that he can see Aiden arriving on the scene behind. And he wants to try and get past Luke Herbert before Aiden starts applying the pressure to him. He's had all of these laps where he's not been under any pressure from anyone behind him. And now all of a sudden he is, so his chances of getting past Luke Herbert, you'd say, are a little slimmer now. Aiden Hills immediately moves to attack. They go around the outside through McLean's corner. And this is brave stuff. Baldwin just shows him the edge of the rope. They don't quite make contact. Into Coppice there, you can go around the outside of McLean's, but it's not so easy to do into Coppice corner. And Aiden Hills is going to try it, but it's not going to work. Simon Baldwin does hang on. Now, this lets Luke Herbert off the hook temporarily. Down the back straight they go again, towards the chicane. Herbert, Baldwin and Hills, your top 3. Luke Herbert now trying to lead from the front. Looks like they might leave Nick Rutter's car there. There's no sign of a safety car yet, is there? Could send the live snatch out, but well, wait and see. We've still got a good portion of this race to go as well, so they do leave that under yellow flag for the rest of the race. If nothing else, it means you can't overtake down there, so that's going to be one less opportunity for anybody to try and find a way through. Aiden Hills, though, has seen lots of other opportunities to pull alongside and challenge. He tries again into Redgate corner, to no avail. Hills Motorsport car stays in line in 3rd position. We're on board now with Aiden, chasing down the, well, he's chased down the top 2. Now he needs to try and get past them if he can. Down the hill, Oil has a look at the inside, and Simon Baldwin tries to move over to cover, but it's too late, and Aiden Hills has got his nose in the gap and moves into 2nd position. Now, where did Simon Baldwin end up then? He's obviously dropped down to 3rd, but did he keep it on the island? Because it looked as though Aiden didn't leave him much room on the exit. That's good news. They're going to move Nick Rutter's car with live snatch, so the yellow flag should only be out for another lap or so. And Nick Rutter's car should be out of the way by the time the leaders next get down to that part of the circuit. Good work as ever by the always efficient marshals and recovery crews to get that car out of harm's way. Marshals who have to put themselves in the line of fire sometimes, as they have done then, to get incidents cleared up, but they do so as safely as they can and as quickly as they can, crucially, so we can go racing once again. Yellow flag still out on this occasion, but by the time they next get round, we should be back to green flag racing conditions at the chicane, which means that Aidan Hills in second place will have one more option available to him as he tries to somehow find a way past Luke Herbert, which ain't going to be easy. Red corner, Simon Baldwin, number 16 car running in third place, heads out of Redgate corner again. As soon as he gets overtaken though, he latches straight onto the tail of the car that overtook him and is not being shown up at all by Luke Herbert and Aidan Hills here. He's proven all weekend that he's every bit as quick as them. Struggled a bit in the damp conditions this morning, but of course home with 7. That was actually after a 10-second false start penalty as well, so he actually finished a bit further than that up the road, inside the top 5. Aidan Hills then looking for his 7th victory of the season, his 9th career win. He's not going to get to 10 victories this season at least. He'll have to come back next year now and try and get that elusive 10th career MX-5 SuperCup win. And with Luke Herbert and Jack Harding's futures very much unknown at the moment, there is a possibility that Aidan, if he were to return next year, could be the championship favourite really. He'd be a contender anyway, regardless of whether Herbert and Harding return next year, but if they don't, you have to look to Aidan as maybe the man most likely to win the championship. He'd love to have won it this year though, and beaten both of them, but just a bit of inconsistency through the middle part of the year has counted him out of the championship reckoning. He's been quick and he's been spectacular, always has been. And Aidan now has one last chance to try and get another win here in the 2019 season. He's tied with Jack Harding at the moment on 6 victories for the 2019 campaign. If he can get that 7th, that would of course make a bit of a difference as far as the bragging rights are concerned. Downhill, Hills has caught Herbert. Where does he make the move? He's got to be careful though, because he is the man in the middle. He's the meat in the sandwich here. Attacking and defending at the same time is one of the hardest things to do in a one-make championship like this, especially one as close and competitive as this one. As we've said all season long, going for an overtake sometimes seems like a good idea, but if it backfires, if it goes wrong, you can end up being the one that loses ground, and Hills won't want that to happen now, because we're moving into the final third of the race now, and any loss of position now, it can be harder to bounce back from with limited time left in this final race of the season. He'll be given some hope by the fact that Luke Herbert's car is getting increasingly sideways, not just on corner entry as it did there, but also on corner exit I've noticed a few times. Rear tyres maybe not particularly happy at the moment. Even in these relatively chilly conditions, the punishment that these Avon tyres go through will bring them up to a very high temperature and a very high pressure, higher than they'd ideally like to be, and Herbert was a bit slow there through the chicane, so Aidan Hills definitely will be feeling he's got a chance at doing this now. Through they come then, Herbert, Hills and Baldwin. Not quite sticking to the script we've seen all season long, but Simon Baldwin very much a part of this battle. Ducks to the outside line, he's the one that's not under any pressure, he can take whichever line he wants to. It's the wide line into the first corner. Tries to tee them up on the exit, but doesn't quite come off the corner as quickly actually as the 2 cars in front of him. Again, Aidan Hills searching around. Where is this opportunity? If the opportunity arises, where will it arise? That's the question. But it isn't going to make a mistake, you'd imagine, even if the car is not handling particularly well at this stage. Go up into McLean's corner, and Herbert just covers the inside line. This is starting to back Hills into Simon Baldwin as well, and they're running out of time now. And Aidan Hills is going to have to make a move, and he's going to have to be fairly decisive when he does so. Good news is that the rain seems to have gone away now. It's pretty much bone dry track again. So that shower we had earlier on that caused all sorts of chaos and confusion, he won't make a return. Closing in the toe, you can see there really well how that slipstream works. Just brought him almost to within range of having a go there at Luke Herbert. He's quicker off the chicane as well though, and this could be Aidan's best opportunity yet, but he doesn't really want to go to the outside. Although Simon Baldwin isn't as close as he has been actually, so Aidan might be able to take a wide line into Redgate corner here. He'll force Herbert to defend, ducks to the outside line, tries to brake as late as he can, tries to go right round the outside through Redgate corner. That's really, really brave stuff. Luke Herbert leaves him just enough room on the exit of the corner. They just avoid trading paint, at least going through the turn. Coming off though, they're awfully close, and they are still side by side with Hills now on the left-hand side of the road. That's the inside for the grainer curves, but the outside for the old hair, but he gets his nose in front. But Herbert surely will try and force the issue on the inside line. They almost lean on each other. Somehow they avoid contact. That was beautiful racing between the two of them. And Aidan Hills around the outside at Redgate, and even more impressively, the old hairpin has got the lead way. Luke Herbert thinks, right, I'll try this now. I've seen how it's done. I'll go to the outside of McLean's corner. And he does. He's going to go right round the outside of him, but he ends up on the curbs. He's a bit sideways. Simon Baldwin sees a chance to get up the inside as well. And this is terrific racing. What a way to sign off the 2019 campaign. Baldwin goes second, but he's slow out of the corner. And Herbert needs no second opportunity to go back through. And he's into second place as quick as a flash, but it's Aidan Hills with one of the moves of the season to go around the outside of the three-time champion at one of the most daunting corners in British motor racing. Takes some guts, and Aidan Hills, well, I applaud you, because that was one of the best overtakes I think I've ever seen in MX-5 SuperCup racing. However, it does not mean that he's got the race victory wrapped up yet, because with 1 lap to go, they're almost 3 abreast for the race lead across the start-finish line. Herbert goes to the outside line. He's going to try and do to Aidan Hills what Aidan did to him a lap ago. I don't think he's going to be able to do it, though. He risks leaving the door open now for Simon Baldwin, who looks to the inside line through Hollywood. Aidan Hills just about hanging on. Is he? Herbert trying to keep coming, though, around the outside line, but I think Hills should get into the crane of curves in front. No, they're still side by side, and Luke Herbert has managed to keep Aidan Hills offline. Into the old hairpin though, and Simon Baldwin sails through on the inside into second position. So it's Hills that leads the way. Baldwin second, Herbert in third place now with half a lap to go in the race, half a lap to go in the season. The championship may have been wrapped up with a race to spare, but that means they've saved arguably the race of the season till the very end. What a way to round out the championship, and still any one of 3 drivers could take the spoils here. Hills has the advantage of being out in front, but he is now going to be punching that hole in the air for the other two to maybe take advantage of on the long run down the exhibition straight. Luke Herbert is also not giving up his hopes of getting into second as a bare minimum here. He'll be glad to finish the season on the podium, but he'd love to end with a win. All 3 of them almost pushing each other down the exhibition straight and into the chicane for the final time. 2 more corners to go. Aidan Hills gets into the corner in front. Will he come out of it in front there? It looks as though he's managed to fend them off just about, and Aidan Hills will take his 9th career victory, his 7th of the season, and what a way to do it. What a race that was. Almost neck and neck for second place, but by 41 thousandths of a second, it's Simon Baldwin who gets his best career finish, his first 2 podiums in the Super Cup, both coming here at Donington Park at the championship finale. With Luke Herbert denied by just a nose at the flag there, he has to settle for 3rd. Well, fantastic racing there all round. Patrick Fletcher ends up in 4th, Will Stevenson 5th with Gary Townsend in 6th, then James Cousins, George Grant, Chris Richardson and David Henderson rounding out the top 10. We've seen 326 laps of racing this year, over 650 miles of it, and it all came down to what was one of the best races in recent memory. Brilliant stuff.
Luke Herbert, that's it confirmed. 2019 Mazda MX-5 SuperCup champion, 3rd championship in a row.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to get 2 was incredible, to get 3. And to end it with a race like that, I mean, can't ask for much more. I mean, the rain came down on one of the corners, just a light flash, and me and Simon were the only ones to get around. I thought, oh, Aidan's gone, it's just between me and Simon. 5 laps later, Aidan's back, so, yeah, you know, I could have sat it out and taken the championship, but you've got to go out on high, and, you know, it's been great. I've got my sponsors here, SRC Recycling, Chichester Water Source, ACC Tyres, McEwan Wealth Management, ANS Tooling, so, you know, to win with another championship is just absolutely great. Can't believe it.
And it's been a great weekend for you as well. Tough racing in all 3 races, and particularly there on those last 2 laps. Great way to end the season. Are you going to be back to defend? Are we going to see you attempting a 4th championship?
I don't know. We'll see what's in store. I'd like to progress now from the Mazdas. You know, I feel I've done my bit here. It's been absolutely great. I don't think you get better racing this in any championship, especially for the budget that we spend. So. Don't know yet. Don't know what's going to happen. I might run a few cars in this, use some of my knowledge to get some other drivers up there. So yeah, don't know, but yeah, just ecstatic.
Well, take the time to enjoy it. Let it sink in. But there you are, 2019 Mazda MX-5 SuperCup champion, Luke Herbert.
Thank you very much, and also thank you to all my family and everyone and Dad. The car's been great all year. We haven't had one DNF, so Octavian, Dan. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. Over them with everyone that's been on the team. There's probably about 25 of us in the background. So yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant. Congratulations. Thanks, Luke.